Money, money, money. Let's talk money.
Let's do
Hey,
it.
Ariel.
How's it going, Marcus?
I don't know. I don't know.
Are you happier now, man? Has the storm of X and Twitter is it gone now by now?
Nah, I think it's still the same shit, because X doesn't care to give me my account back, and I don't know what the account is doing in the background. So again, don't click anything on X or any links. And if I'm sending you a message on X, it's not me, okay? My account got stolen, and that's it, okay?
Wow.
And
hopefully, luckily, I don't have X. I've never tried anything.
It's not about X. This can happen because I was stupid. This can happen anywhere.
Yeah.
This can happen anywhere. It doesn't matter. It's X or Instagram or whatever you call it, Facebook. It doesn't matter. This can happen anywhere. It's just
I wonder how they send me emails if I've never given my email to anyone. How from YouTube a lot of alleged companies send me emails. I always ignore them, but I don't know how they get the email at all. And and offering me collaborations for YouTube, so they know I have the YouTube channel and everything. I don't know how they get the email.
Yeah, they're guessing or finding or whatever.
I share the email sometimes with people who ask me, but I don't believe it's those people. I don't know.
Anyway, so are we going to buy a 5080 in Australia? No.
Well, I wanted to ask you because this leak about the 5080 price is the price in Australia, and I wanted to ask you. Usually, the price in Australia, if you convert that to US dollars, is still higher than on the US. I hope.
Yeah, so Australia is more expensive, but so let me before we start with the price leak, let me present this one here. So this one here is 4080s at the moment. What you can buy, $1,800. Okay, so Australian prices. Okay, so this is Australia. Okay, so of course you can also spend $2,100 for the Asus ROG Strix. But let's say $1,800 for the Tough, which is the one I have. Okay, so the price, it never changed. I paid $1,800. I don't know when I bought it. 2 years ago, 1.5 years ago.
That is 1118. So 1119 in US dollars.
In the US. Okay, and now we have. Let me share the other one. We have now. Where is it? Here. This is from the channel Rex. I hope you can see this. Can I make it bigger? Is it now better? Not sure. So apparently, this is from our retail shop in Australia, and the purchasing price for this retail shop for one 5080 is actually $2,544.55. So $2,500 the shop needs to pay to Nvidia to get, or to Asus in this case, to get actually a 5080. Okay, and they're selling, or that's the plan, they're selling this for $2,800. Let me make this smaller.
So that would be so the price that the shop is paying would be $1,582 in American US dollars.
Okay,
like $1,600.
So $1,600. Okay. So what is the price right now for 4080?
You said 1,800, so that would be back when you purchased it, I think. So 1,800 in Australians is 1119.
Okay.
So it's more expensive by a lot.
So we're talking about. Look. Again, it's right now when you buy a 4080, it's $1,800. So maybe we need to compare the 5080 with the 4090. So let's do that. Let's compare the 5080 with the 4090 because maybe that makes more sense. So and then of course we're talking about. Let me present this one here. And then we're talking about 4,000 Australian dollars. Okay, at this shop at the moment. You can get for sure, you can get it cheaper for sure somewhere, but not by a lot. You know what I mean? And it's not, you know? So the other ones are sold out. I think probably now people realizing the price is going like crazy. They're buying now the 4090s.
So yeah, that's probably what Nvidia is doing. They're going to try to sell the 5080 like it is better than the 4090. So, and it's cheaper. So it's a great deal.
It's probably, I mean, I hope it's better because to be very honest, because then it would be cheaper for me, to be honest. Because why should I buy now a 4090 if I can have a 5080 with the same performance for a cheaper price? Because then we're talking about $2,800 versus $4,000. That's a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't know if this is how we should think. You know what I mean?
No,
I don't know how much better a 5080 is compared to a 4080. I don't know.
The thing is, it has to be better, but it has less VRAM.
Here, this one, yes, 16 gigabyte VRAM is criminal. This comment, thank you, Patricio. He is absolutely right. So I think this is actually an absolutely red flag in my opinion. So because my 4080 in some games runs in the VRAM limit, and if you have mods and stuff like that, and I think even Resident Evil can be a little bit demanding. Resident Evil 2 and 3 with all textures set to 100 or whatsoever, you know, they're demanding games. 16 gigabyte VRAM is not much. It's not. So this is
the thing
crazy.
is, you know, usually we used to get better GPU for about the same price.
Yeah.
But if you get a faster GPU that is also more expensive, you're not getting a better value. We have to see, you know, frames per dollar, something like that. What Hardware Unbox, they do charts like that to see the value.
So Omi is writing supply and demand. Yes, if you cannot afford a 5080 or 5090, there are other Nvidia choices, and AMD high-end Nvidia graphic card cells. If they did not, they wouldn't price them so high. He's absolutely correct. They will be sold out. No doubt about that, because they don't have a lot of in stock in the very beginning, so they will be sold out. There's clearly, you know, it's just it's getting more and more. Yeah, the problem is that we have more and more demanding games. You know what I mean? That's the problem. So what can you play in a proper quality with a mid-range card? And what is a mid-range card, by the way, now? What is a mid-range card? Is this...
So the problem is definitely, for me, the problem is definitely the games. We have Hybrid in the chat. I want to ask Hybrid what he thinks about this YouTube channel I talked about the other day. I forgot the name. They say, this guy, he says, temporal smearing abuse. This game, they look blurry because of that. So I want to get a higher end GPU because the games are blurry, and I still want to play them. Like, you know, Black Myth Wukong, it's a great game. I'm not happy with it.
Thank you very much, FaZe. We have a super chat. Thank you very much. People complain about PlayStation 5 Pro price, but the new Nvidia GPUs 58, 59 are the cost of a used car. Correct. He's absolutely correct. And this is what it's not just about the complaining about when you compare this now with GPUs, but I'm trying to I'm thinking about to update my S9 Plus because my S21 Plus is broken. So, and I have to use the S9 Plus. And yes, it's an old phone. And I'm looking at iPhones and stuff like that and say, I'm not paying 2,000 Australian dollars for a new phone. This is ridiculous. And people complaining about PlayStation 5 is so expensive. No, it's not. It's not compared to other things. It's not compared to that you just pay 2,800 Australian dollars for a 5080 and you have nothing because you can't use it without all the other parts. So It's $4,000. You know, compared to $1,300 for the PlayStation 5 Pro in Australia. And don't start with, oh, the games are much better. Yes, I know you can run with 60 FPS, 120 FPS, yes. But we have enough games in a good quality on the PlayStation 5 Pro with 60 FPS, okay? And the step up to a 5080 in terms of how much you have to pay more, you're not getting this quality out. Never ever.
No, of course, there's
That's my
diminishing
opinion.
returns. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
one thing we have to consider is usually we cannot compare the 4090 price with 5080, alleged price, because usually when the new GPUs release, the previous generation price drops. But I think Nvidia wants to hold the value. So it would be crazy if the new GPUs come out and then the price reduction for the 4090 and 4080 is very small, like $100, $200, something like that. That would be crazy. And I think that's what they're trying to do. They are better, but now they are more expensive, a lot more. So yeah, that's the thing. We have to wait to see the 4090 price after the 5090 gets announced, or even the 5080. Because it has to drop. If it doesn't drop, it will be crazy.
Yeah, but let's see. Some I don't know. Maybe it will not drop because the cards are really good. But let's see if a 5090, so let's a 4090 here is 4,000 Australian dollars. Okay, yeah, again, maybe for 3,500 you get also cards. I'm pretty sure. But let's say 4,000. Because the shop shows 4,000. So what is a 5090 then in Australia? $5,000? I start laughing. Hey, this is stupid. This is stupid. Just a pure number. Number. It doesn't matter what this card can do. It doesn't matter, really.
I think it has to drop below the 5080. 4090 has to be cheaper than the 5080 because, it's still maybe slightly better. It has more VRAM, but the 5080 is going to have some new thing that you have to buy. There's going to be a new technology, DLSS 4, or this new neural rendering or something that is going to be exclusive to the...
We are back to one of the live streams what we had already. So gaming just for rich people. Huh? Yeah, we talked about this. So when we have now DLSS 4, let's say, or maybe RTX 2 or whatever they're announcing, you never know, just with the 5080 cards or 50 cards, 50 series, then what I'm doing with my very old crappy 4080. it's what I'm doing. Give it to my little one for playing Roblox. Huh? That's what it's good for. Come on. This is really, I mean, I get this, and Nvidia is always a couple of steps ahead with their stuff. But this is ridiculous. $2,800 if the leak is correct, which it looks like. But this is crazy.
It looks like a picture from a store or a computer store.
So the problem is that even if this 5080 is better than a 4090, let's just assume it's faster than a 4090, but 16 gigabyte of VRAM is not enough nowadays. So you would need to go for some games or professional applications to a 5090, which then is for sure more expensive than a 4090 right now in Australia. From the logic, you know what I mean? So I can't sacrifice spending. It was not possible. $4,000. Okay, I can spend $4,000 on a 4090, but my wife would kill me. $4,000 for a GPU. This is stupid, really.
One thing that I want, one thing I didn't like about the 40 series is that the 4090 was a better deal at the price, MSRP, than the 4080, and that's not how it should be, because the Halo product is where you expend the extra. It is usually not the best value for the performance. So how expensive is the 5090 going to be if the 5080 is this high? Like, I mean, $1,600 in Australia. I mean, US dollars, the equivalent in Australia with that price. So in the US, usually when you compare the Australia price right now, for example, let's do that. You check the 4080 right now, it was $1,800 Australian. So that is $1,120 US dollars. Right now, if we look at the 4080 here in the US, because I just want to see what is the difference usually in price. Because Australia is going to be more expensive usually because of the taxes or whatever is going on.
Yeah, it is. It is usually a little bit more expensive. Yes, not just a little bit,
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, now that's it. We are more expensive. That's why I'm so not happy, because just for so now this is not. I don't know what to say. $2,800 for a 5080 with 16 gigabyte of VRAM is It's not discussable. I'm not going to pay this. And the 5090 will be out of the question anyway because of the price, for sure.
Yeah,
So
right
this
now,
yeah,
the 4080 Super is $1,000. The MSRP was $1,200. So here in the US, it is definitely cheaper. Let's say $200 at least cheaper. It might be $200 cheaper at least. So that puts that 5080 at $1,200 minimum. If this leak is true, the 5080 will be minimum here in the US $1,200, probably $1,300, and that's just way too much. That is crazy.
Jonathan is asking, so what are the prices? So we have apparently a leak in Australia, which is this what you can see on the screen. Hopefully, I can't make it bigger actually, but this is apparently a leak from a retail shop in Australia somewhere, and the Asus 5080, the shop needs to pay Asus actually $2,500 to get a card, and the planned price to sell it is 2,800 Australian dollars for a 5080 with 16 gigabyte of VRAM. Wow. This is stupid. If they would at least increase the VRAM, to 24 or 32, how much is VRAM nowadays? This can't be much money, you know what I mean? This is
It shouldn't.
it's just a little chip, you know what I mean? One more chip, I don't know if this is has to do something with the architecture from the card or whatever, but this is not enough.
In US dollars, that is $1,740. So imagine the 5080 costing $1,700 here in the US. I think bare minimum is $1,300 if this leak is true.
Yeah.
And because $1,700, that's 4090 or 5090 price. I was expecting, I was gonna buy the 5090, and I would still buy it if it is below $2,000 US dollars. I'm not paying more than $2,000 US dollars because I just made up my mind already. Not more than that. I think it's just too much. More than $2,000. I think it's crazy.
First, this comment here: don't complain too much. Life is good. This right now is a complaint stream. Okay, so we're complaining. Okay, so next Sunday is the Life is Good stream. Okay, so today we're complaining. But this one here, this comment here, watching Jensen walk around in the background is pissing me off. That was the plan. That was the whole plan from Ariel to piss people off.
But let me tell you, I love Jensen, how he speaks, and I think he has a good sense of humor. And he seems like a brilliant person. I love the way he explains everything. So I want to do a live stream reacting to the announcement with a load of cash, and every time he says 4 times the ray tracing, I'm gonna throw cash. 3 times the frame rate, I'm gonna throw cash to the air. It's so funny to me.
Okay, so maybe I really have to save money. I don't know. This is just, to keep up with. The problem is, I don't know if the 4080, what can do the 4080 with newer games in next year. I don't know. Is it still enough, to test games? It's not for playing, because if I would like to play, then I just go to the Xbox or PlayStation 5, because then less trouble. But for doing testing and stuff like that, is it still enough? Are you happy with 30 FPS in the future on my channel?
Oh, for me, the FPS is okay, and the alleged resolution is okay. For me, the problem and the reason why I wanted to get a 5090 is because the games at 4K are not looking like 4K. Yeah. They are looking blurry. Yeah. And I want to brute force that. That is that simple. I just want to brute force, get more pixels, an insane amount of pixels, so the games look sharp. That's it.
Yeah. So AP is saying, as an older gamer now, I'm glad I'm a console-only player. Average cost of a new modern console is about $400. Yeah, give or take, yeah. And granted you trade an older console or game. Yeah, I mean, look, it's... I don't know if Nvidia is actually really is. They're not targeting gamers with those cards. You know what I mean? They're not, because this is just, how can you target gamers with this price range? So my question is actually, do we know anything from AMD, or what about Intel? Is Intel our choice? What we can put on the table now, for gaming?
The thing is, these cards are also good for other things that are not gaming, and I think that's what raises the value. These cards, you can actually make money with these cards. I would not do that because it's like renting my GPU. I don't like that idea, but there are some people who actually make money with it.
So 16 gigabyte in 2025 is wild. Yeah, I know. No, I'm not going. No, this is crazy. Just from this, I would upgrade to a 5090. Just need to find the rest of the $2,000 somewhere. This is just stupid. It's so stupid. You can't even... I don't know. I don't know what to say. Now, if a 5080 can do DLSS quality 4K 60 full RT with full path tracing, it's a no-brainer at a proper price. Yeah, but 16 gigabyte of VRAM. At some point, you just have to play with low textures, but ray tracing will work fine.
Yeah, the thing is, for me, for this high-end cards, 60 FPS is out of the conversation, in my opinion. Like, why would you? We're talking about a PC that costs like $4,000 or $5,000. I don't pay that to play at 60 FPS. So for me, ray tracing, even with a 5090, I am most likely gonna turn it off. I want more pixels, more clarity, and ray tracing also has some noising issues. I watched the hardware unbox analysis about that, and that's what I've seen.
This is Digital Foundry of this video.
Yeah,
Alex probably is not happy.
I've never liked ray tracing on any game, aside from the performance, which is very bad. I've always find it to be noisy, and yes, I see the advantages, but it has never been like, wow, this looks so good. I want a GPU that can give me more of these frames.
I have to say, in Alan Wake 2, it does look really good. But when you now take into consideration how much frames you lose, then I'm fully on your side. No, it's not worse. It's not worse. So Indiana Jones looks good, but there's ray tracing always on. I'm wondering how much more frames you get with no ray tracing. So the game is perfectly fine playable on my 4080 mid-range card. So all good.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that I see with ray tracing games, when Digital Foundry does the comparisons and all of that, is that they say, oh, look, this is a problem that ray tracing is fixing. And my question is it possible to fix the problem without ray tracing so the performance is better? And the answer is most likely yes, but it takes more work or more talent or both. So I'm like, well, then don't be lazy. Just work more and fix those issues. I don't want to turn on ray tracing and cut my frames in half.
Yeah. Now there's so many. I really don't know. I'm still a little bit. No, I'm not shocked. I'm just. I was expecting at least the same price range. At least, or maybe it should be a little bit cheaper or not than the previous generation. But maybe we are
at least the
wrong. We're going completely other direction because demand is there, and that's what Nvidia is doing. It's the same with Sony, with PlayStation 5 Pro. They're selling like this, you know what I mean? They don't care. Just increase the price, the people selling or buying. Yeah, I would do exactly the same as a company. Exactly the same, Dagny is riding a 5090, 4090 are Bugatti, 5080, 4080 is Lamborghini. I like Lamborghini. It's not too bad, but the fuel range, you know what I mean? 16 gigabyte of VRAM is not enough. This is just, leave PCM master race. I mean, I have no look. Don't get me wrong. There are games I have to play on PC. because mouse and keyboard. But those are not the games you're expecting. I'm talking about strategy games like Civilization, Anno 1800, whatever. There's no way I would play those games on console, even they are available. No way. I need a powerful PC for this. But all the other games like Alan Wake 2, I don't care if I have now a little bit better graphics or a better graphics on the PC. If I can play this very cozy on the couch. Yes, I know I can connect my PC on the TV and stuff like that, but it's just simpler to do it with a console. You know what I mean? So it's yeah, PC master. It's getting too expensive. This in general, what will be the PlayStation 6 hybrid? How are you doing?
In the chat, he's a developer. He is asking, what would you do if the 5080 was weaker than the 4090? It shouldn't be weaker, man, but it would probably be. And the thing is, Nvidia is going to have a new feature, something new that you're going to have to say, well, it's weaker, it is more expensive or about the same price, it has less VRAM, but DLSS 4 or whatever new thing Nvidia is going to release. And yeah, that's the thing. That's what's going to happen most likely.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it should be weaker than a 4090, but not by much. It's probably not by much. But you're right. It depends what features they're announcing. Maybe they're announcing a texture compression feature in 16 gigabyte is like 64 gigabyte now. I'm just making stuff up. This will not happen, but I don't know.
What I get excited about when they announce a new feature is if the new feature works for everything. If they say, okay, we have this new neural rendering, whatever, and it works for all the games, like immediately, you get better textures, or we have this DLSS 4, which is backwards compatible or something like that, and now all the DLSS games are going to get this benefit. See, that's what gets me excited. But a new feature that we will get 4 years from now or something like that, because the games need to implement
it doesn't
or support it, is useless.
So low to high is writing, you must get the 5090 mark because it will be great for your channel. I mean, look, getting the PlayStation 5 Pro and doing all the videos was absolutely perfect for the channel. So don't get me wrong, investment in the channel, which I like to do, I have to do this. Okay, don't get me wrong, because I like to grow the YouTube channel. If I'm not getting a PlayStation, or if I don't want to play, if I don't want to grow the channel, then I wouldn't buy a PlayStation 5 Pro. Let's make this straight, because I told you already, PlayStation 5 Pro is not worth the money in my opinion, but it was great for the channel. The same would be for the 5090. If I can get hands-on the first day and do videos about this, I would get subscribers. No doubt about that. But this is just, it's still ridiculous. We're talking at least over $4,000 for Australian dollars for this card. At least that's the minimum price. Because now $2,800 for the 5080 means even more for the 5090, and now 4080 is here in Australia between $3,500 $4,000.
So that is $2,500 US. So it would probably cost more than $2,500 US in Australia, the equivalent. I would not pay that, man. For me, it has to be less than 2,000. 2,000, I would be okay. It has to be awesome, but less than 2,000.
But even now we're on a point where $2,000 is okay.
Well, it's not okay. It's a lot of money.
He did it.
I just wanted to have it, but it's not okay. It's crazy.
I know what you mean. So Face, thank you very much again. High-end rig builds $3,000 to $5,000. So is this Australian or US? Because this can't be. This is for Australia already not enough.
Yeah, that's not enough. That's US dollars for sure. With 3,000 Australian dollars, you don't buy anything.
You know what I mean? And this is so. And yeah, maybe I don't know how the economic or the situation is in the US. It depends, of course, what job you have and how much money you earn. But the average income here in Australia is probably not much higher compared to the US or whatever. It's not like that we earning 2 times more money compared to you or have more money in our bank account. That's not the point. It doesn't work like that. You know what I mean?
Well, I would say where I am living right now, if you rent, it's usually minimum $2,000 a month just for the rent, without counting utilities and everything. And if you're buying a house, it's more than $3,000 without counting utilities and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's.
So our mortgage per month is a little bit over $3,000. What we have to pay, you know? That's no utilities, no tax, nothing. It's just the pure mortgage. Yeah. Then you have the council rate, this stuff. So it's you know what I mean. Even with our higher income, what we luckily have, it's not much, to be very honest. Cost of living is crazy, and then we're talking about cars or high-end rigs, $5,000 US price. Again, you know what I mean. If I like to have a high-end rig next year in Australia, we're talking about 5080 plus all the other components. We're talking about at least $5,000. At least $5,000. But then I don't even have the best parts in. You know what I mean? It's crazy. The latest GPU, which I'm looking at the moment, AMD, because I have all AMD's GPUs. Not going to Nvidia back soon, actually. But I'm waiting for the 9950X 3D, actually. But the 9950X without 3D is $1,000, the GPU here. CPU. So, and I have at the moment the 7950X 3D in my main rig here, which is pretty good card. There's no point to upgrade, but I'm looking for, and I paid for this CPU, I think $1,200. $1,200.
Yeah, the latest 3D CPU is gonna be better than ever because the clock speed is gonna be about the same as the non-3D, which has never happened before. So it's gonna be just better for everything. It's not gonna be just better for gaming. It's just a better CPU.
So Tim is saying, just sell your 4080, recap money, buy a 5090. So that's not how I'm doing this. So usually when I'm upgrading, the old stuff goes into this rig. Okay, so this is my former PC with a 3070 at the moment. So the plan is to get the 4080 here. Okay, so I'm not selling because you never get the price back.
Yeah,
the money back. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't like selling.
Pointless. I get your point. You know, you sell something to get a little bit money to afford something, but I paid $1,800 for the 4080. No one is paying me $1,500 for a 4080. No one.
Yeah,
you know, I have to sell this for maybe. I don't know if I can sell it for 1,000 Australian dollars. You know, I have no idea. And the problem is then I still have just a 3070. So no one is going to buy a 3070 anyway. You know, I can sell this for $100 or whatsoever, because you need to think about that. First of all, no one wants to buy a 4080, a used one, for a ridiculous price. You know, maybe I need to go even lower than $1,000, and at some point, I don't want to sell. I just don't want to sell anymore. It's oh my god.
Yeah, I would prefer to give it away as a gift than to lose a lot of money and sell it for, you know, less than half the price.
Just going to the comment section.
So you know what? I think so too. The 5080 will be around $1,100 now, and then when it goes to the real price, that's what we don't know, because the 3080 was announced like at $800, if I remember correctly, but the price was actually like $1,200 minimum.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing. At the end, really, whatever Nvidia says the cost is, it could be a lot higher. They might say the 5090 is $1,800, and I get excited. Then I try to buy it, I cannot, and then the price is actually a lot higher.
So the thing is, you can always buy the Founders Edition on Nvidia then for the price what they like to have, but then it will be sold out all the time.
Yeah.
So it's not much what you can do then. So that's why you have to go with other brands, not brands with other brands like Asus or Gigabyte or MSI or whatever. But they can't just increase the price as they like, you know, because of demand, you know, and they will do it. No worries, they will do it.
And the problem is also AMD is not going to go. It's not competing at the highest level, so
No,
they
they
can
don't
get
want to
away
do
with
anymore.
whatever they want to charge.
The more you buy, the more you save.
No competition. Yeah, the more you buy, the more you save.
I mean, but right now, correct me if I'm wrong, but right now, when we're looking at the 7950 XTX AMD versus the 4090, you have probably a little bit more or better frames on the 4090 on average, you know, in games. But the price range is ridiculous. You know, we're talking about half the price. And it's just, let me get this up, 79,900 XTX. Let me show you this, because people don't believe me. So this is I don't know why we have less and less cards in the shop, or maybe I need to look for another shop. But anyway, so $1,600 for the 7900 XTX, which is in some games even faster than the 4090. Some games, okay? So some games the 4090 is faster, but it's not by a lot. You know, we're not talking about a lot, but you can buy almost 3 AMD cards for the price of a 4090. Okay? So just get this in your head. And we're talking about 24 gigabyte VRAM here. So $1,600, and you get a card which is more than enough ray tracing. We're not talking about ray tracing, but it's more than enough to have a very great experience. More than enough. This is great value, $1,600. No doubt about it. But
the thing is, at the end, you know, the majority of people want AMD to do very well, and now Intel. So Nvidia lowers the price so they can buy Nvidia. That's how it is.
You're right.
I mean, it's not being a fan or anything. Nvidia is making the best GPUs with the best features. So I want the best. Yeah, it's more money, but that's the story.
So which one is the best Intel card? Is it P5? Or which one is it? The best Intel graphic card at the moment. So we have A3, A5, A7, B5. Is B5 the latest one?
Yeah, they haven't released the highest tier yet. They started with the entry level. Hopefully they release more powerful GPUs, because it is going very well for them. The reviews are very good. It's a great value.
So I don't know how this card performs, of course, but these Intel Arc B580 with 12 gigabyte of VRAM for let's say $500 sold out in this shop. I need to find another shop, maybe. Anyway, but it's sold out here. You know what I mean? And it's $500.
It's $250 in the US.
Yeah. So I don't know how this card performs, of course, compared to, let's say, my 4080. I have no idea.
That's just a 4060 level graphics card. Yeah, it's not even close to your 4080.
Yeah, no, that's fine, but it's not even close in terms of the price. You say it's 4060. Okay, it's the same price then, yeah. But we're talking about 8 gigabyte versus 12 gigabyte. So clear win for Intel. Clear win.
Yes, for some games it's gonna be a lot better.
So we did consider. So even a 4060 has 8 gigabyte, and now we have a 5080 just with 16 gigabyte. This is just stupid. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know. You know, I wouldn't even buy a 8 gigabyte graphic cards for office computer. so
let me answer. Let me ask this question to see if Hybrid's still in the chat, because I have the same question. When can we expect this CRT simulation being in the lossless scaling app? So I'm not sure if you know about this. It's a new GPU shader that was invented by the Blurbuster chief and another brilliant engineer. I forgot his name. Let me look it up so I can give him credit. The thing is, this new thing can be implemented at a display firmware level. It can be natively implemented on any monitor or TV. It could be implemented via software. Even the consoles could have this. It's just a software thing. And what it does is it gives you better motion clarity, and it's better than BFI because it flickers a lot less. You see that flickering is bothersome, and a lot of people don't like it, especially with 60. This thing is gonna flicker significantly less, and it's to simulate the way CRTs refresh, so you can get better motion. It's awesome. I cannot wait to see this in action. So yeah, let's see if Hybrid is still here, if he has a time frame to implement this in lossless scaling. Hopefully we can get it on Reshape too. This is awesome.
Yeah. Thank you very much again, Face, for another super chat. Really appreciate this. Thank you very much. PlayStation 5 Pro is not worth it right now, but it will be in the future later on. Yep. Correct. But when I'm looking at the price now for the 5080, then yeah, go and get a PlayStation 5 Pro. get two. No, but I said this already, and I repeat myself. If you have already a PlayStation 5, a normal one, and you're just thinking about upgrading, I wouldn't expect too much of an improvement. You know what I mean? That's I have seen 2 games so far where I really think it is much better. That's Space Marine 2, and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Need to think about maybe another game. All the games on the PlayStation 5 Pro enhancements. So don't get me wrong, they're having an improvement. Okay, when we're now not talking about Ubisoft games, Avatar or Silent Hill 2, where it gets worse actually with the PlayStation 5 Pro enhancement. But most of the games are looking slightly better, have a slightly higher frame rate and stuff like that. But it's not worse to upgrade, okay? So that's what I'm saying. I'm looking forward for the first really PlayStation 5 Pro games, where they're focusing on the new GPUs and capabilities. This will be probably a different story. But right now...
Probably intergalactic.
Yeah. I don't know what I should think about this game. Have you seen the like-dislike rate on the trailer on Sony?
Yeah, nobody likes that.
It's I don't know. So this is going to be again political, which we don't want to, or I don't want to have this on my channel. But and because I learned my lesson. But anyway, it's don't do this. You know what I mean? Make Stellar Blade games.
Yeah.
Make games like Wukong. That's what we want. That's what everybody wants in the world. That's where you get the money. Okay, don't make games like Dragon Age, where you have a great gameplay, in my opinion, but you can't listen to the story.
Yeah,
it's just
and they knew nobody was gonna like it. They just turned off the comments immediately.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I don't understand this, But anyway, do it.
Let me give the credit. So this new CRT GPU shader is a CRT Beam emulator, was invented by Mark Rihon and Timothy Lotes. I don't know how to pronounce that. And here's the amazing thing about this. I'm sure this has been a dream definitely for the Blurbuster's chief, because he has been talking about this forever. And they finally break through, and they were able to create this awesome thing, and they are giving it away for free. It's open source, and not only that, they are saying we will help you. If you are a developer, you contact us, we will help you implement this in your game, in your software, in your display. So this is a passion project. This is just absolutely amazing. All the opposite to this guy here, which is the more you buy, the more you save,
Yeah.
But they could have reached out to Jensen and sell this thing. So they have it on Nvidia exclusively. And they didn't do that. She's awesome.
That's something for you from George.
George says, can you fix Wukong Black's level with Reshape tool? I tried many guides and still can't make it work on my game. Could we get an updated guide for HDR analysis tool? Perhaps. Can't wait for the 5090 content. Well, thank you very much, George. Let me tell you, for Black Myth Wukong or any other game that looks kind of washed out or has the black level race, even on SDR, the problem is the color grading. We don't like it. So you don't like it, I don't like it. That was the creator's intent. So to remove the ugly, color grading, I share there is a shader that is part of the PROD80, the PROD advanced color shaders. When you install Reshade, search for PROD80 or PD80 shaders. So the number one is a shader that allows you to remove the color grading, and you can remove the tint. So if the game has a tint, which is most likely the cause of the problem, so this shader would actually remove the tints in real time. So if you go to a different area and now the tint is green, or if it's purple or whatever, in real time, it changes that. So that fixes the black level completely. So instead of crushing the blacks, you just have to remove the ugly color grading that we don't like. And that fixes the issue. And then the only thing you have to tweak is the speed of the shader. So it doesn't change the color grading immediately, because then it looks like it is flickering and it's unusable. So you have to change it gradually, so we don't notice the change that much. And that fixes Black Myth Wukong. It fixes almost all the games that we don't like. So I did a video about that. So I'll look it up and tell you the title. But yeah, that's how you.
Frogboy's in the house. How are you doing, man? Yeah, and he's saying buy AMD, it's much better. In terms of price, yeah, it's much better. Definitely. And again, my opinion was always, if I would just play games, I would have just an AMD system. But because of the features what this Nvidia is offering, to test, or for in terms of what you need actually to test games, or what people like to see, like ray tracing and stuff like that, or not even that, Nvidia Broadcaster or whatever, something like that. It's just perfect, you know what I mean? What I need for doing my videos. Nvidia is just a little bit ahead of AMD in terms of productivity. That's why I have Nvidia. But just for a gaming rig, I would always go with AMD. AMD GPU and CPU.
Well, hopefully Intel releases the higher end GPUs, because I actually like a lot the XeSS and the upscaling. They have the AI component, and they also have now the frame generation with the new GPUs. So I think I like a lot what Intel is doing, and I actually think they are gonna give you the best price, even better than AMD, because AMD already is more, for the legacy games, the older games, and they have probably better, drivers and all of that. I wanted to say the video is easily remove all ugly color grading on PC. This is the video where I shared this shader, which I think is awesome. But now, if we have a better fix like Reno DX HDR, this is a better fix for this kind of games. If there is a Reno DX fix for Black Myth Wukong, that would be better. And I think there is, but it's not free. That's the problem. Or if it's free, you have to go to a Discord server or something like that, which I don't like to do. So that's it.
Yeah. I stopped selling old stuff. Too much of a hassle. I don't like so the 4080. I don't consider 4080 as old stuff. You know what I mean? That's a problem. I don't want to sell my 4080, which I can. No, and you're right. And the problem is you lose so much money. You know what I mean? It's not worth to sell the old stuff. I get it. You get some money back and stuff like that. But it's even with games. I stopped in the very beginning of my channel. I sold all the games what I bought actually to eBay Games to get money to buy the latest games. You know what I mean? To invest in the channel. I'm not doing this either. Because, you know, at some point you need the game anyway, because now there's a PlayStation 5 Pro update or whatsoever. And first of all, you buy it for $100 and then you sell it for $25 or $20. So what's the point? You're not making much money. That's the problem, you know? And with hardware and stuff like that, I don't know, I just don't want to spend so much money for a 1590. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, but the thing is
maybe.
the performance. We need to see the performance, because if the 5090 is like, I don't know, based on the leaks, it is not. But let's say it is 40% faster than the 4090 in every game, at least 40% faster or something crazy like that, then yeah, it's worth it. So it depends on the performance. But if it's just like 20% faster, or 30 at best, and then it just has a new feature or something like that, then it's gonna be a hard sell if it costs like $600-800 more than the 4090 at release.
Yeah, I know. This is just, I don't know what to say. It's just, and again, 5080 is a hard pass because of 16 gigabyte VRAM in 2025. That's a no way. I think I will make a video about this and say, don't buy the 5080. I will get hate and laugh for this video because people, but that's how it is. I'm not 16 gigabyte is it's not enough. Full stop.
But let me tell you, one thing I'm excited about the 5090 is once I have the 5090, if I tell you a game looks blurry, then I do have a reason to make a rant about it, because if it doesn't look good on the highest end GPU, then it's just it's a bad game, because a lot of people tell me, no, it looks fine on my GPU or whatever. You need to get a 4090 or something like that. Okay, I'll get a 5090, and if it looks blurry, then I will make a rant for sure.
Just get a smaller TV, just get a 1080p screen, 27-inch or 24-inch, and everything is fine. No blurs, nothing. It's all good, and you can run in 360 frames per second on the 5090. So Nvidia is intentionally limits VRAM on mid-range GPU. So now 5070 is a mid-range GPU. I know prices of GDR6 are still highest, but it's just marketing at the end here. I don't understand this. I don't know if it's really with the architecture from the GPUs that it's harder to put more RAM in, but I don't think so. It's just really, it's not enough, So do we know anything about the 5090 VRAM? Do we have more than 24?
32 gigabytes of VRAM, which is great. I mean, that's incredible.
I mean, that's really a lot, probably. But at the end, you never know what you do with this GPU. You know what I mean? Maybe 32 gigabyte is not enough.
You know why? One thing I want to test with a 5090 is there is a way with Unreal Engine to have the game load more stuff on the VRAM, so you potentially you can reduce some stuttering and stuff. So I want to try that. And there might be some games where you can just load the entire thing on the GPU.
Yeah, it would be great. I mean, don't get me wrong, but VRAM is we need VRAM. Full stop. So Norbeich is saying DLSS and frame gen is better emo on Nvidia. I don't like FSR. Yeah, I agree with you. So DLSS is way ahead of FSR upscaling, way ahead. Even with FSR 3. And you also write G-Sync is better emo with VRR. So G-Sync, VRR, and AMD's FreeSync is exactly the same. So I couldn't see any difference between VRR or HDMI VRR, G-Sync, and AMD FreeSync. There's no difference for me in terms of quality, in terms of smoothness, or whatever you want to call it. So do I need to sell my house to buy that 5090? You don't live in a very nice house, I think.
Just the car. Just sell the car. That's
Just
it.
sell the car or one of the kids. Now, do you have children? You need all of them? You know, really? you know? No, don't do this, and please do me the favor and don't get any loan or whatever to buy a 5090. This is absolutely ridiculous. You know, the only time you should get a loan is for houses or if you need a car or you want to afford a nice car. You know what I mean? So even for cars, it's a little bit tricky, okay? But house, of course, yeah, but not for vacation or electronic parts. No, this is stupid. If you can't afford, you can't afford. You just have to wait. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I want to comment on this. Ariel wants more than 60 FPS, but it's not a hardware issue. The game engines are not designed to run above 60 FPS. Trying to run games at 120 will just give you more stuttering, even on high-end hardware. So yeah, the games are definitely struggling to run at high frame rates, and it's a CPU thing. Now, what I am hoping with this GPU announcements is more frame generation, hopefully asynchronous reprojection. So what I want is just 3x or 4x the frame rate. So then you can get that high-end, high refresh experience, even if the GPU or even if the CPU is a limitation. I am sure with my CPU, I'm not gonna be able to run many games, not many games, but the most demanding games. I'm not gonna be able to get 120 FPS solid, no drops, perfect, or even 144. Now that I have the Samsung, it's not gonna happen. But with frame generation or asynchronous projection, then I can. So the CPU is not longer a problem, and Nvidia knows that. So I think they're gonna do something about it. Just turn this off. We don't longer have
Jensen is gone. Jensen is gone. Don't need him anymore.
Yeah, let's turn off Jensen.
I don't know. So anyway, so I'm trying. I don't know, 5090. I don't know. Maybe I should try to get one and then make videos like crazy, like I have done with the PlayStation 5 Pro.
No, I'm not doing it for the channel because honestly, I don't think people would care at all if I am playing at more frame rates or if my resolution is better. But it definitely matters if I want to have an impact and trying to influence things in the right direction. In my opinion, my bias is I want the games to look sharper, to look more clear, to not be blurry, and to not have issues with smearing or trailing artifacts and ghosting, all of that. So if I have a 5090 in the eyes of the public, that definitely gives me more credibility, because when I do a rant with my 3080, a lot of people who don't understand fully what I'm talking about, they're going to say, oh, you just need a better GPU, your 3080 is like it's trash. Which is not the case.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
So S4N1, okay, I'm not repeating this, but this comment is asking, so how much for the 5080 leak? So in Australia, they're talking about $2,800 what you have to pay for 5080 with crazy 16 gigabyte of VRAM, which I think is more than enough, for the next 5-6 years. There will be no problem at all. So just get 5. No, it's not enough.
That is $1,740 US. So
$1,740 US.
Yes.
If you can convert this, I think it's a little bit cheaper in the US.
Considering that the price in Australia is always a little bit higher than on the US, I think we can save at the bare minimum $1,200, maybe even $1,400, which would be crazy. But yeah, that's the 5080. So the 5090, it might be beyond $2,000. I hope it is $2,000 at the maximum. And yeah, but if it's $2,000, it's gonna be an issue, because $2,000 is just gonna be the Nvidia version. For the Asus, which is what I wanted to buy, I wanted to get an Asus Strix or TUF, or that's gonna be way more than that. So that's a problem.
Yeah, and this one here, by the way. So what are we doing with in terms of power supplies? 600 watt 5090 is too much.
Well, let me tell
What
you,
do you mean
I
for the
am
whole
actually
system?
going to try my 1700, my 750 watts power supply, and I think it's going to work, even when it is not recommended. I think it will work, and a lot of people are gonna be surprised with that. I believe it will work.
But
So
maybe we're surprised anyway, because I mean, it doesn't mean that 5090 or 5080 or 5090 will take so much more power, than a 4080. I don't know. Can be different. What is the screensaver running on your TV in the background? That's just a screensaver on YouTube. Royalty free, so that means there's no copyright stuff, because you need to be very careful with copyright stuff on YouTube. Absolutely careful. So this is just a screensaver. What I just looked for screensaver copyright free. That's all what I've done, and that's the one running on my nice G4.
yeah, I don't think the 59 is gonna draw 600 watts. Maybe the Galax Hall of Fame GPU version or something like that is gonna be crazy for overclocking, but just the Nvidia version, I don't think it's gonna be that power hungry.
So Andy is
yeah.
saying, please don't be silly to get one at release or right after release. Wait at least until summer with the 5090. There will be not a big difference in price, I think. To be honest, I can't see that this is like, nah.
Sometimes it goes up.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Because first of all, they will be sold out regardless of what the price is. They will be sold out because there are people, they can afford this. Even a GPU would be $10,000. It will be sold out at some point. It's of course about how much they have in stock as well, but there will be not much in stock, in my opinion. So Nvidia is smart that they will keep this low. You know what I mean? The stock. They like to make this look like people are demanding this like crazy, and there will be, again, people will buy this like, I wouldn't say idiots, but they're going to buy this. They will buy this. It's the same with the PlayStation 5 Pro. It's selling very, very well, despite the twice as much than the PlayStation 5 price. So that's how it is, unfortunately. And we can't do anything. Just because now you wait half a year, I don't think you get... Maybe you will be disappointed. It's even higher at the end, yeah. I don't know. But yeah, here, I think one needs 16 gigabyte. Yeah, we need more than 16 gigabyte VRAM, in my opinion, on a high-end graphic card like the 5080. And don't tell me it's not a high-end. It's not a mid-range of 5080. It's not. Even a 5070 is not a mid-range for me, to be very honest, because you're talking about prices, I don't know. This is just, it's getting ridiculous. So PC or gaming in general, everything is getting so much more expensive. And I think Sony started it again with the PlayStation 5 Pro. And now Nvidia is just say, okay, if you can do this, easy.
Yeah, another thing, people are gonna be surprised. I'm gonna make a video if I get a 5090, of course. I will do the unboxing and then I'm gonna put it on my case. I have like a $25 case, and I'm not going to, spend more money so it looks cool or none of that. I'm just gonna use the same old cheap Chinese case, and 750 watts power supply and a Chinese
Everything
case.
Is Chinese.
Yeah, I don't have more money for the case, so yeah.
Just don't put a case on. Better cooling anyway.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So we have here this comment, RTX 5090. He's predicting or leaked prices converted to US. Euro and Austrian prices are tax included. Okay. So 5090, he says $2,300. No, this doesn't make sense because look, this is wrong already. So if this is, so these are the complete different prices to the other leak. Look at the 5080 price here, $2,000 Australian price.
So he's saying he got that from WCCF Tech.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing that. I think it sucks. $2,300 for a 5090, that's too much, man. I'm not paying that. 2,000 is the max.
The question is, of course, which one is is correct, which price league. You know what I mean? Because that's a big difference compared to others, you know, to the other price league. So this, I mean, this sounds actually better. You know, this sounds better. $5080, $2,000 sounds better than $2,800. It's still a little bit higher than the 4080 right now, but I would. It's not like I would. Oh my God, so much more expensive. You know. And 5090, 3,800 Australian dollars is slightly cheaper than the 4090 right now in Australia. So, but I don't know. I think I found the article here. I think it's this one here. Let me just try to share this here.
Yeah, I cannot wait for Jensen to announce those prices. See how he's going to justify that.
Okay, so we have blah blah blah. Where are the prices? So this is apparently just, I don't know, 5090, 19,000. Is this yen? What is this?
Can you make it bigger?
Run.
See.
So maybe someone can. So, but probably that's the same what we have seen in the comment. It would be better than the other league, but I don't know which one is now correct. You know what I mean? Because the other league, what we have is apparently a retail shop in Australia, and yeah, and this one is just a tweet or whatever. So I'm not sure if this is correct or which one.
But these prices are terrible. That's why we were, speculating $1,200 for the 5080 at the minimum. Yeah. This is still terrible. I mean, $2,300 for a 5090.
It's a little bit better, but it's still not good. But yeah, I don't know which one is better. This looks like for the Australian much better because 2,800 the other league, and here $2,000. But it's just a conversion always. You know, that's the problem. You can't do it like that. You know, it's not possible. You have one price in one country. You can't just use the conversion to make out the price. It doesn't work like that. You know, it's especially not for the Australian market, because they're just, I don't know, they're just putting a couple of $100 on top.
Well, I just know if that's the price, they are going to be very good. They are going to be fast, and especially they are going to have something new that's going to be like revolutionary. It's going to be like, you have to get it. If they are charging that price, it's because your GPU right now is trash. That's why. So I'm excited about that part.
So hardware lover is asking, what do you think, is 5080 faster than a 4090? I don't think it will be faster, but it should be maybe similar or almost the same speed, maybe something like that.
It's probably gonna be close, but and it has less VRAM, but it's gonna have that new feature that you have to have. So
yeah, you must have this really, and yeah. So what about this? Can you still mine Bitcoin actually?
I've never tried that.
I have no idea. Really, I did this with Ethereum back then, a long time ago, and back then, and I made actually a little bit money. Just with 2 GPUs, I made actually money. But I don't know. At some point, it goes down. It was not worth anymore. I don't know if it's still. Is this still something what you can do?
Yeah, you can do it for sure. There's a way you can rent your computing power, but I don't like that, man. It's like renting my car. I don't like that.
They mean when you go to bed, then you just turn on Bitcoin mining. That's it.
No.
And next day you have 15 cents.
It's like it's like someone is playing with my GPU. No, it's just for me.
Yeah, here, Dr. Blitz, you guys had 2 years to save up. Stop crying. Correct. That's it. Move on. Next topic. So.
Well, we can talk about the G5.
G5. So I bought the G4. That's it. I'm selling
And
the
now that
G4.
the G4 is already trash, Marcus. You have to get the G5.
No, I know. And I burned my G2 in the early morning today because that's it. I'm not even talking about my CX. CX is.
Hey, and I've been waiting for the videos. Did you end up doing the comparison?
Yeah. I did. I did comparison and I recorded everything, but I haven't actually edited and stuff like this, and not done yet. But I like to do this. But
Okay.
first, I like to work actually on my best HDR videos for 2024 because there's not much days left for 2024. Shit.
Well, with LG, it says here, this is some leaks, so take this with a grain of salt. But probably on CES we will know. They're saying they've been continuously developing a 4-stack WOLED solution, which could potentially allow them to remove MLA due to the high cost of the MLA materials. So basically, they are chipping out.
Yeah.
Okay. And they are going to probably hit 3,700 nits, so 3,700 nits, and they are going to reduce the power consumption, which I don't like that. Just give me more power and more nits. But yeah, that's what it looks like. Also, Samsung is rumored to be hitting around the same brightness with a panel. But one thing is the panel capabilities, and the other thing is what Samsung is going to let you have. So probably those, close to 4,000 nits, you have to go to service menu to get that.
Yeah.
But it's
so to
gonna
make this very clear, just because a panel can hit those, we will not see 3,000 nits on the G5. Okay, so let's make this clear. We have now 1,500 nits on the G4. We will see probably maybe 1,700 nits, 1,800 nits on the G5, something like that. Okay, I'm not even expecting 2,000 nits, to be very honest.
Well, I think
my
at least on the QD-OLED, they should definitely hit 2,000 nits because it's already possible. So I mean, 3,000 nits is already possible with the S95D. If you go to the service menu, actually 3,100 nits. So I wouldn't be surprised if the next gen QD-OLEDs are able to hit 4,000 nits. That would be amazing. That would be really crazy. So yeah, looking forward to CES. And I want to see 3D. I want to see some displays with 3D. Glassless 3D. I want to see what TCL has with those inkjet printed OLEDs, which they are RGB. And yeah, glassless 3D, that's what I'm more excited about.
Okay. Yeah. If this works well, why not?
And they're both going to be 165 hertz.
Okay.
Which is good. Samsung too.
Yeah, okay. That's not a big step up from 144 to 165, but let's see. So I'm not expecting. So they're trying to get. So this will be for the G5 already. They're trying to get rid of MLA, or is this just? Okay.
Yeah, they're trying.
Yeah.
I don't. This is crazy. So basically, instead of the MLA, they found a new way to get more brightness, basically, instead of MLA.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works, but so interesting that they're trying something new, basically.
Yeah, the problem is it's still a WOLED, so you still have the issues with the colors.
Yeah.
And that the brighter you get, and this is just a white LED most likely. The brighter you get, the more what is the right word?
Dilution.
Dilution. Yeah, the more the color's getting whitish. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's not the same. And Ariel also mentioned it already. And when he comes from the WOLED and goes to the QD-OLED, and he thinks that the picture looks completely different, despite the fact it's of course it's a different panel technology, but it's, in my opinion, it's more 3D like or something like that. I don't know how to explain this. It looks maybe more 3D like, more plastic or whatever, something better, more realistic. You know what I mean? The G4 is great, don't get me wrong, but the reason why my S95C is in the cinema room, there's a reason for it. Okay.
For me, the difference is like, imagine you're looking at, for me, WRGB is you're looking at a very beautiful lady, but with makeup. And you're like, is she that beautiful? And QD-OLED is like, she has no makeup. She's just waking up and it's that beautiful. It's like the real thing.
He's lying.
So that's okay. What I can. So WRGB is like, it looks great, but there is something like, there's something off that I don't know how to put my finger on it. So yeah, QD-OLED looks completely different, and I really like it. So yeah, QD-OLED with 4,000 nits of brightness is gonna be just absolutely amazing. Of course, we're talking about 2-3% window, very small window, but full screen brightness, that's the thing that's more important in my opinion. It should be 400 nits. I don't know, I haven't seen any leaks about that, but if the S95C can already do 300 nits, why not? 400 nits makes sense.
So my Samsung is significantly brighter in SDR than my G4. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, really?
That's a clear, you know what I mean? It's like, you watch something SDR like, and you just put everything on high, and you're like, okay, that's way too much. No, it is brighter. Full stop. Wow. It's not twice as bright probably, but my eyes telling me it's too much already.
Oh. Well, so it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. So this comment here, if they give us 240 Hertz on the C5, I'll buy one. No, it will be, I don't know if the C5 has also 165 or they're going down, or it's just for the G5, but 165 Hertz maximum.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it is. Also, MLA, I think, is going down to 42 inches too.
Oh, okay.
It might go down. I don't know. So maybe they will have MLA for the C series. That would be a very good way to compete with the 90 class QD-OLED. Have MLA there, and then have the 4-stack WOLED on the G series. I think that makes sense.
Okay. So Gang08 is asking, is it likely to more burn in with those high nits? Probably, but I'm not sure about that, to be honest, if this is the only thing.
So, for people that are concerned about burning, this is what I would do. I tested this, and I see a big difference. I might do a video about that. Have something very bright on screen, then change it to a gray, full screen gray. And if you see the image retention, most likely you will see image retention. See how long it lasts. When I compared the S90C I have, which is first generation QD-OLED, and it's slightly brighter than the S90D that I have, which is third generation. They are both 1500 nits maximum. The image retention on the S90D is almost like none. Like, this is being restricted by Samsung heavily. This panel is not even close to what it can do. By Samsung, it's just killing the brightness there. So I can definitely see a big difference. So I am more concerned about burning with the S90C, because I can see the image retention, and it lasts very long actually with a full gray. So have a very bright 10,000 nits test pattern, and then change the window to a full gray, and you'll see the image retention is there. So if you see it very long, then be more careful with the TV.
Yeah. So Gina's asking, are we going to the CES, or are you guys going to CES? Not this year, not next year, maybe not 2026.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, we're planning to do it 2026, yes. So the question is now if I should buy a 5090 or the plane ticket. Because it will be probably similar, It's because I looked it up. It's a 24-hour trip from Australia to the CES. It's not. It's far.
Is it always in Vegas?
I think it's always in Vegas, huh?
Yeah.
I'm not coming if it's in Mount Rushmore or whatever. I like to see Vegas as well. Anyway, let's do 2026 here, because then that's when I reach 1 million subscribers, and then you get free game passes and whatsoever. No, it's not going to happen anyway. Now, but 2026, that's the plan.
Let's do it.
What's this here? Andy, so G4, is there such a big difference with G4 to the previous OLED TVs? Does it make sense to upgrade from a 4K? No, not big. No, not because of, so if you're just talking about the refresh rate, no, going from 120 to 144, I don't think you will actually really notice this if you don't have a side-by-side comparison. Of course, higher refresh rate is always better if you can do it, but I would not upgrade because of that. Depending from what you're coming, coming from the CX to the G4, that's a big step up. Don't get me wrong, that's a big step up. Coming from the G2 to the G4, maybe wait for the G5. You know what I mean?
So the thing is, most people that try to play at 144 frames, the frame rate is dropping below 120 anyway. So if your frame rate is dropping, it's better to lock the FPS at 120 or even below to have a more consistent experience. So unless you can get 144 locked, no drops, then 144 is not gonna be a difference, because if you're dropping frames, it doesn't matter if you're using VRR. But yeah, the higher the better. 144 is better. It's more clear in motion, especially. So yeah, 165 is gonna be better.
Okay. Because I'm reading this, ABC just upgraded firmware OLED, and it's 30% brighter now. So I can't comment on this one, but just with the G4 upgrade, which makes the screen much brighter. So Classy debunked this already. So there was never any update, never any firmware update, which makes the G4 much brighter. Okay. So this was some German YouTuber or whatever made a video. He's probably did something wrong or whatsoever, and came up with that the G4 now is suddenly brighter. But Classic said no way. He checked everything, nothing happened. Still 1500 nits. Okay, so that's why I'm not commenting on this, because I just don't believe it. Because 30% brighter would be a big step just with a firmware upgrade. So maybe
that is huge.
Whatsoever.
Also, some people ask me if the S90D got nerfed with the latest firmware update and all of that. I don't think Samsung can do that. Definitely not. If you go to the service menu and you max out the brightness, I don't think Samsung can do anything about that. Yes, after a firmware update, you have to go to the service menu again. So maybe that's why you see a difference, because you have to actually go again and max out the brightness. So, but that's not gonna happen. So what Samsung did is, initially the S90D 65 and 77-inch in the US had potentially a brighter panel that was like 2000 nits, like the S95C, and they changed the panel to a 1500 nits panel. That's what happened. Once you buy the TV and that's what you have, I don't think with a firmware update you're going to get less brightness. What happened with the S95B, and the reason why people are afraid, is the S95B was coming out of the box with the brightness maxed out on the service menu, with that setting on the service menu maxed out, which is the AnaPic 1023. So with the firmware update, they lowered that. But if you go back to the service menu and you max out the brightness, there's nothing Samsung can do about that. So if you do that, then you have the same brightness as out of the box S95B or whatever you have.
So do we have any news on Sony? Was it Sony planning
for 2025?
I have to admit, Sony is never on my table or on my radar, because they're just
too expensive.
I don't say too expensive, and I'm not saying they're not great TVs, but they are, in my opinion, not the best choice for gaming TVs.
No,
that's my opinion. That's why they're not on my table. Sorry.
Not at all. A lot of issues, starting with the tone mapping. The tone mapping on the Sony TVs is not the best for gaming at all. They have dimming when you're playing games. The dimming on the Sony TVs is very visible. I've seen side by side with the LG with the dimming turned off, and you can see how the whole picture starts dimming on the Sony, and you cannot turn that off. Games have HUD elements. You will get dimming with Sony, and there's no setting on the service menu to fix that. So that's just a big deal breaker, and they are the most expensive, which makes no sense.
Yeah. Okay. Going to the comment section. Just give me.
Basically, their tone mapping is not close to HGIG, not even close. It's like, most likely most people have the tone mapping set wrong, unless you figure it out or watch a video or something, because it's not intuitive.
So this one is a good one. Marcus, you got the G4, yes, this one here, and the Samsung OLED. Yeah, I got the S95C. Do you absolutely miss the QD colors on the G4? No, absolutely not. I don't know what guys. So it's not that when you put the S95C and the G4 next to each other, which I can't do, it's not that you have two different TVs. Absolutely not. And the thing is just the QD-OLED TVs are looking slightly different to the WOLED TVs. I think it's really because of the white LED what we have in the WOLED WOLED, whatever, the LG TVs. And because of that, it does look different, but it's still, when I'm comparing shows, and I would just try Lucifer season 5 or whatever, great HDR in my opinion. Just compare this. The G4 looks absolutely stunning, very great natural skin color out of the box. Just filmmaker mode on. That's it. You don't need to do anything. The S95C out of the box a little bit too reddish in my opinion. Okay. So that's from the out of the box experience. LG is always or was always better. That's my opinion. And with the G4, they just mastered it. The game mode, the only thing on the game mode is they're still using warm 0 instead of warm 50, which I don't understand. But out of the box, warm 50 or whatever, it's just great. Absolutely fantastic. So no, I don't miss the colors. No.
Let me ask you, Marcus, how can I record a video to analyze? I want to analyze the Netflix HDR content. If I have the Netflix app running on the TV, I have the capture card. How can I do just HDMI to the capture card, and then I have another monitor for the PC, and it's gonna record? I can record what is running on the.
That's how I have to do my RTX HDR videos, because but it's the same. You run your Netflix app on one PC, and you go with the source into your capture card, and then you record.
No, but not on the PC. I mean, on the internal apps of the TV.
Oh, no, you can't do that.
No.
So you need to have the
another
source
PC.
Yeah. So it's the same with RTX videos, because I'm getting so many requests. I do RTX videos like I have done with Wukong, but it's such a because you can't record RTX on the main PC because it's a layer. If you press record, it doesn't record RTX HDR because it's coming. The recording is here, but RTX HDR is happening here on the output from the graphic card. So you can't record it with OBS or the Nvidia app. No way, it doesn't work. So you have to use a second PC, and that's why it's such a big. That's how I did it. It's just blah.
Have you tried the Netflix app on Windows?
No, I think never. No.
So HDR it doesn't work well because the TV doesn't change the tone mapping like it does with the internal apps.
No, I haven't.
And everything looks dimmer. So Netflix looks a lot darker on the PC with the Netflix app than on the internal apps. It's not even close. It's just dark. It looks like it's not even HDR.
Oh, okay.
And it is HDR, but the thing is, I cannot record it because it's copyright protected.
Yeah.
I cannot take a screenshot, so I don't have a way to. I don't have a second PC to do that. I have a laptop, but I don't have the card there.
Now you would need to have a second PC capture card. Yeah, that's the thing. But it would be nice. Actually, would be interesting. And the thing is with to analyze some HDR content on Netflix, but with the copyright on YouTube or whatever, it's just pointless.
Yeah, I can only show pictures. That's what I wanted to do. Just show some pictures.
Okay, so guys, last questions, last comments. Come on, give us something. What do we have here? This one here. Warm zero in game mode, boost brightness values in reviews to the color temp. Yeah, but it's still wrong. You know what I mean? I don't know why LG is doing this. In all the other modes or the picture settings, what you can use, like cinema, filmmaker, whatever, it's always warm 50 or warm 2 on the CX. And just in game mode, they're using actually warm 0. Doesn't make sense because, as I still have 1500 nits with warm 50. It's not that the TV suddenly is less bright. You know what I mean? So you have probably a little bit more with warm 0, but it just looks bluish. I don't like it.
So here Planet is saying Netflix looks the best on my Xbox. Even on the internal apps, does not produce the same vibrant colors. Yeah, I think it is all over the place. It doesn't look great, to be honest, on the internal apps. It's not bright enough. Like a static tone mapping never feels like it is as bright as it should. So yeah, we have to investigate that further, man.
I need to test my Apple. What is the name?
Apple TV.
Apple TV again. So I was not happy with Apple TV in the beginning. I bought it because I was thinking I bought this actually when I bought the S95C because I said I'm not connecting my Samsung to the internet because of firmware updates,
Yeah.
And then I used the Apple TV, but I had the issues that in darker movies or series or whatever, you had a lot of noise in the background and sometimes some lines and whatsoever. And then I compared this on my CX, G2 or whatsoever, there was no noise, nothing. But as soon as I connected the Apple box to my other TVs, I had the noise again. So definitely there was an issue, a quality issue with the Apple box. So with Netflix app or whatever, you know what I mean? So that's why I haven't used it because I compared with internal apps also on my S95C then, and the picture was just absolutely clear, much better than with Apple TV, much better.
Yeah, I'm starting to see the issues, and because I've never had Netflix before. So now that I have it, I'm like, okay, well, this is kind of a mess, at least HDR. And there's some people on the forums recommending to not use HDR at all, like just use SDR. And I think that's not better. It cannot be better. So we have to figure out what's going on and why it doesn't look great sometimes.
So what is this about? Ariel, it's not about creators' intent, me personally. What about you, Marcus? What was this? Is this about the warm 0, warm 50?
No, it's about the brightness with Netflix, because what I see is not great. I don't think it's an issue about creators' intent or not. If the movie doesn't, on HDR, if it doesn't look bright, if you're not getting even 600 nits, that's not HDR. It cannot be the creator's intent. If you're getting 300 nits on HDR, that is just wrong. So if you think that using a static tone mapping is giving you the creator's intent, I think it's just not working right. That's the problem. So that's why I did these videos recommending a way to always get the brightness, even if it's broken, because it's going to give you a better experience. Forget about the creator's intent. It's just going to look better. Otherwise, turn off HDR and get the creator's intent if that's what you're looking for on SDR.
So I'm using just the internal apps on all my TVs, also here on the G4, and I have no problem with Netflix in terms of that the picture doesn't look great, depending on what you watch, of course. Yeah, there are crappy HDR movies, no doubt. But again, try something like My Planet or whatever, documentation series.
Yeah, documentaries look very good. The thing is, I have a mobile app to measure the brightness, which is not accurate. But when I compare the numbers that I get with the games, it's not even close. Like the games with the tweaks that I do on the PC, they look so much brighter and better. It's just not even a comparison. So I'm like, this has to be wrong. And definitely the Netflix app on Windows is not working with the TV well at all. Like I'm talking about 200 nits on HDR. Like it's not working.
So New and Old is saying just get Apple TV on the Nvidia Shield. So I used Apple TV and I was not happy with the quality. You know, so not with bright scenes looking great, but darker scenes had a lot of noise and issues, and it looks like MPEG compression and stuff like that, which I never experienced. And I compared this then, switching to the internal app, the same sequence, you know, no issues. It was definitely an issue with the Apple TV on all TVs, you know.
Also, I wanted to say something about the color temperature and more brightness. Even for light bulbs or studio lights, light sources, they have like a native color temperature that's gonna be brighter. So it depends on the technology. Sometimes more blue is brighter, but sometimes it is not. So you can actually measure which one is brighter. If you don't care about accuracy, you just want to have the brightest picture, use the Lux Light Meter app on a phone and go to the color temperature and change the color temperature up and down, and you will see which one is the highest number, and that's the one. It depends on the technology.
So thank you very much, Cryptkeeper. Have a good one too. Let's move on to this. Dan, you guys complain about Sony TVs being too expensive, but you also complain about poor build quality in modern tech. And not in this stream. Can't have both, unfortunately. By the way, the dimming is not visible by eye in HDR. I think it is visible. I saw it on video. I'm pretty sure I would see it in live as well.
I mean, we're talking about a great TV. So if you have a Sony TV, Sony QD-OLED, I mean, that's a QD-OLED at the end of the day. It's an awesome display. But Sony, for example, from what I've heard, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's not even chipping with a protection on the screen. You see the plastic peel that we peel off the screen?
Yeah.
The Sony A95L is chipping without that protection. I think that's crazy. If we're talking about quality, control and getting a good panel, I think that's crazy because QD-OLED screen is so fragile that it's just crazy to not have that kind of protection. And
not sure about that.
And also Sony had an issue with I don't remember if it was power supply or something, that the TV was just dying like very soon or something like that. And then Sony, of course, they replaced it if you are under warranty. But there was like a major problem, and I think they fixed it or something. So I don't remember exactly what it was. But don't think that because it's Sony more expensive, that means they have better quality control or you're not going to have an issue with the TV. Not at all.
No, they're the same. Look, I mean, I don't know if it comes. So when it comes to build quality, my S95C is pretty good, to be very honest. I like it, but compared, of course, the G2, G4 looks really solid, like a solid TV. You know what I mean? Not sure about Sony. I'm not sure, but even
my experience with Samsung is trash. I mean,
trash. Yeah,
absolute garbage.
I didn't. Yeah.
Because I had to return 4 TVs. I mean, I tried 6 TVs to end up with 2. That's terrible.
I think I was just lucky with my S95C.
Yeah.
I just lucky. And I even, in the very beginning of this, I checked for pixel issues or whatever. I couldn't find anything. The uniformity is great. Don't start with uniformity on the G4. I know some people don't want to hear this, but it's not good.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the audio of the S95C is just not working. I mean, I much rather have them not even include audio at all. And the problem is the back of the TV is rattling, the plastic back. So I think if you wall mount the TV, it's not going to happen because the 4 screws, are going to hold the plastic back together. So they probably tested the TV wall mounted because it has the one connect box. It makes more sense. More people are going to wall mount the TV. But if you don't wall mount the TV, the plastic back is rattling. And I tested 2 S95Cs, and it's like it's unusable.
That is a scrap. This is scrap. So Emmanuel is commenting. I wonder if Marcus will ever comment on TV backlights. I have Groovy with a camera and it improves brightness because one's whole room at night is brighter with the same color as on screen. So here this is just a normal LED backlight, and I just put it on because it looks a little bit better than without. On my S95C, I have no backlight. I would turn it off because it's distracting me, to be very honest. I don't like it personally. I had this backlight kit sent to me with HDMI 2.1 ports, no VRAM support, unfortunately, but I tried it with Nintendo games and whatsoever. It's a nice feature, but I don't like to use it all the time. It's distracting a little bit, to be very honest. If you like it, go for it. Depends on your room, of course, as well, if it's better or not. But I personally wouldn't spend money on that, to be very honest.
Yeah, I don't like them.
But that's my.
Let me ask. So new and old is saying Nvidia doesn't allow you to record because of HDCP. So that's protection against copyright. Can you turn that off? I saw that on the Nvidia control panel. It says the display supports this and the GPU. So yeah, that's probably why. So there might be a way to turn it off, so I can record Netflix and all this stuff.
But I can, because you can turn off. So for an example, with all my capturing card, I have to turn off HDCP anyway. Otherwise, they would not show a picture because they would say, "Oh, it's copyright protected material. You can't correct." So I need to turn this off on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox actually. So the question is, of course, now if you can start Netflix without this feature turned on.
Okay, I will explore that. See if I can turn it off. That might be the solution.
That's the question. But it's definitely not activated on the Nvidia card, because when I did RTX recording, I just recorded the screen. What you know. So no, it's not. So I'm pretty sure you can start the Nvidia app. Yeah, of course I can start the Nvidia app. So it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, I'll try.
Yeah. Oh, this one here. Jonathan, Marcus and Plasma, cheers, happy holidays, thank you. Curry's question, how do you games like The Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2 look on Samsung QD-OLED? You know, that it looks fine. Don't expect a day and night difference between, let's say, G4 S95C or LG OLED and a Samsung QD-OLED. There's not a day and night difference, okay? It's just I prefer, so why I prefer Samsung over LG when I'm playing games is because of the Game Motion Plus. That's the biggest part in that. The picture quality, I don't think it's like a big difference, you know what I mean? Just with very colorful games, probably the Samsung QD-OLED would outshine the G4, but no, it's for me Game Motion Plus.
Yeah, the Last of Us doesn't look great on HDR. The games, those games look blurry on the PC. They look very blurry. So yeah, and the HDR is not great either. It's a shame because, you know, aside from the games being blurry, they do look very, very good. It's awesome in many ways, but yeah, the presentation, the HDR is not great, and they are blurry. So it's a shame.
Yeah,
especially this Naughty Dog, the Uncharted 4 and the Lost Legacy, I forgot the LLOT. It looks very blurry. So that one, they're just almost broken. In my opinion, it's just terrible blurriness. The Last of Us is not that bad, but it's still kind of blurry.
All the games are blurry now. That's a new feature.
Yeah, it's a shame.
I'm just reading comments again, and we're coming to the end soon. So make sure you have comments like Gang08. Is there a big difference between OLED TVs and OLED monitors? For the PC monitors are small but expensive. Yeah, I would not. If you have the room actually to put a TV instead of a monitor, I would always put a TV in 42-inch or whatever, because OLED monitors, as you said, they are very expensive, don't have the same peak brightness, capabilities, not the same options, no apps on, you know what I mean? You can't watch Netflix or whatsoever. They're just very expensive for what they're offering, in my opinion.
Almost no settings.
Yeah.
And so the most important thing is the peak brightness is very low in comparison with the TVs.
Yeah.
Very low. You get, like, for example, in some monitors, you get 1000 nits in a 2% window or 1%. But then on a 10% window, it's 400. It's like...
What was your question? I missed your question. Oh, was it this one? Just wait. Which saturation on Samsung TV? I think 25 is too much. Depends. There's a different setting between SDR and HDR. So I'm using right now a classy setting, or maybe from... I think it's classy setting at the moment for HDR, which then you should reduce saturation to 18 plus his setting. But I would recommend, if you're talking about gaming, then just start with saturation 15 and use native BT 2020 in the option, and just try 15 to 18, saturation 15 to 18. So this is pretty good, actually. That's what I'm doing with gaming at the moment.
Yeah, that changed with the S90D and S95D because Samsung calibrated the BT 2020. So now it is different. So what I did to decide that I have it in 22 on my S90D. I haven't made a video about that. But with these Lilium shaders, we now have a test pattern generator, which is awesome. You can actually calibrate in-game to know exactly the white balance you're going to get. You have the D65 coordinates, and you have your test pattern generator, which you can change the size, you can change the background, the brightness. It is awesome. I'm going to make a video about that, see what we can do. But one thing I did was to have red, for example, the color red, which is the one that's clipping before the rest of the colors. My QD-OLED also on WRGB. So what I did was to increase the color saturation until the red doesn't get any more saturated. So 22 was the maximum with my S90D at the brightness I have. So 22, the color. So 23 was not giving me a more saturated red, basically. That was maxed out of red.
Okay. So Consa is, did we cover the price? Yes, we did. And we had actually 2 leaks. One leak said, and I'm talking about Australian prices now, 5080, $2,800 Australian prices. Okay, 5080 with 16 gigabyte of VRAM, which is $1,700 US, something like that, or 1700,
1740, yeah.
Yeah, and then we had during the live stream actually another leak. Thank you very much again. And they predicting $2,000 Australian dollars for the 5080. So it's a complete different story now. Not sure what is correct now. Okay, of course.
That one sounds better. So let's go with that one.
Yeah, let's go with that.
$1,200 US for the 5080.
Yeah, that's probably makes a little bit. let's say it like this. It doesn't make it better, but it makes it better. But let's see. I wouldn't be very surprised if we have 2,800 Australian dollars for the 5080 in the shops. I wouldn't be very surprised, because again, they will be sold out like bread. That's my prediction. That's why, because people just buying, and there are many people that can afford this.
I want to comment on this. Creator's intent, color grading, brightness, tone mapping, best dynamically tone map to display. So about the creator's intent, you might not like it sometimes, especially with gaming. We see these color themes that raise the black floor. I don't like that. I think that's wrong. We should have perfect blacks for all games. There's no exceptions. Now, what I think it is important, even when I don't care too much about the creator's intent, I think it is important to have the display, the TV or monitor, as well calibrated as possible on HDR, because it looks better when the display has the accurate white balance. When you see natural skin tones, it's just better. You can notice that difference. You don't want to have overly saturated colors, so then everything looks flat. So you want to have your display as well calibrated as possible. But then if the games you don't like them, you can change them on the PC. So I don't see display calibration to be super important, because I want to see the creator's intent, and that's the purpose of calibrating the display. I see the benefits of the display being well calibrated beyond that. So not only that, okay, if you want to see the creator's intent, that's fine. But the thing is, if the movie or game is dark and you don't see the maximum peak brightness or the maximum colors of your display, you're missing out. In my opinion, if your display can do 1000 nits and then the game is 600 or below, you're missing out. So if the game doesn't give you that, then you just use active tone mapping or do something else. The other thing I heard from a TV calibrator, D-Nice, okay, he's one of the most prestigious TV calibrators. He said that tone mapping was an opinion in how to preserve the details. So let's say what I believe he's referring to is, for example, if the content is mastered at 4000 nits, your display is not 4000 nits, so you need tone mapping. The way the display is doing tone mapping is, he's saying, it's an opinion. Like, it's really like what we're trying to do is to see it as close as possible to the real thing. So what are you going to do? How are you going to preserve the highlights, or how bright it's going to be overall? So he's saying that's an opinion. So there's not really a perfect solution if your display has ABL and if it's not capable of the maximum peak brightness that the content is. So yeah.
Creator's intent is I don't know. With Greatest Intent and Resident Evil 2, I think it was Resident Evil 2, I proved actually that they really messed up the game in terms of the HDR black levels, because I thought actually that the whole game has raised black levels, but I proved it in my video that it's just in some certain location they increasing this suddenly. Because if you see my video, when you step out of the door, perfect black level or black level floor, and you go out of this door, and then it just raises to make a more foggy environment. And it doesn't look nice. It doesn't look good. So
that's what it is. Sometimes the fog sometimes raises the black floor. Sometimes it's the color filters. Sometimes it's the fog or a different effect. And it doesn't look great.
One of the worst HDR implementations on a AAA game I have ever seen. Still, until today. It's just worse. It's absolutely, I can't get this in my head. And I just hope that when we have what Oblivion 6 or whatever comes out, now I don't know which one, that we have proper HDR. I just hope, and not Starfield like HDR. But anyway, it's probably a couple of years away, maybe. Anyway, so last comments, guys. And then just go.
Yeah, and I want to say something about the brightness. There are some people, when we talk about the new TVs or being brighter, there's always someone who says, "Oh, I don't need it brighter because my eyes hurt with the brightness of my TV," or something like that. I think some people are susceptible, like me, to blue lights. So maybe your your TV looks too blue to you, you can make it warmer, and that might be more comfortable. The thing is, real life is super bright. The TVs are not even close to anything. You just open the window, that's a lot brighter than any TV. And you can just use the Lux Light Meter app on your phone, and you will see the numbers you're getting from the sun outside are crazy in comparison with your TV. It's like not even close. So I think also you have to understand the difference from 100 nits to 1000 nits. To us, the way we perceive the brightness is the same jump as from 1000 nits to 10,000 nits. So as big as 10,000 nits sound, it is super bright, but it's not crazy. It's not like, oh, you're going to be blind with 10,000 nits. Not at all. So yeah, we need more brightness, and the brighter the better. After we have perfect blacks, we need it brighter for sure.
Yeah. This comment here: how do you even play with Dolby Vision on PC? Is still a mystery to me. You don't. That's how it is. I know that. So I think I haven't tried this, but it has the chief one of the option that you can force Dolby Vision or whatever on. I don't know. There was something. I haven't tried this because there's no point. There's no point. Okay, so there are 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 games on the PC which are natively supporting Dolby Vision. And to get Dolby Vision running, at least the last time when I tried it I was not able to do it.
No, it's not. I've never seen it.
Yeah. No, I was able to do it once, and I made a video with this phone back then, because that's the only thing what I had. And I found with my clear eyes that Dolby Vision was better in specular highlights compared to HDR10. So I saw more details because of the dynamic metadata. But it was I don't know what I have done. I deinstalled the game, maybe a couple of Windows updates later. I tried to get Dolby Vision running. It was Mass Effect. Yeah, Mass Effect. Okay. And I was never able to get the Dolby Vision logo back on my screen. Never, ever.
Really.
So that's why,
Well, there might be a way with Unreal Engine. There is like a way to force Dolby Vision on the engine or something like that. I've never tried to. But look into it. There might be a way to always force Dolby Vision on the Unreal Engine, but I don't think that's gonna be any better.
Yeah,
it's just a different format, but the game is not. It's not going to have dynamic HDR metadata suddenly.
No,
you're just going to have the format.
That's my last comment on here. So yeah, the Xbox supports Dolby Vision gaming on almost all games. So 99.99, whatever. But it's not Dolby Vision. It's just a different picture format on your TV. Okay? Because there is just literally one single game on the Xbox which supports Dolby Vision natively. One game, okay? So, and then it depends what you like better. So because your TV switches in a different picture option, maybe Dolby Vision gaming looks better. But it's still HDR10. It has nothing to do with Dolby Vision, okay?
Yeah, it's the calibration of the TV.
Yeah. Yes,
it might
correct.
look better.
Yeah.
Or worse.
Yeah, correct. Anyway, so that's the last comment for today. Or maybe there's something coming up with a new price leak in the next 10 seconds. Because then we have to go to our second chop to afford 5080.
So are we on a depression? They call this when the price go up or down, they say it's a depression. We're not depressed.
No, we're not. No, we're just not rich enough. That's a different story. No, it's crazy. But I get some people will buy it because if you're a gamer and if you like to play the games on the PC, you probably buy one. That's how it is. Go for it. Have fun with it.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see how good it's going to be. But yeah, I'm not gonna pay more than $2,000. That's like my max. But I do want to have the 5090.
Yeah, Ariel is right, because if now the 5090 is twice or 3 times faster than the 4090, which probably will not be the case, then it's a different story. Because then we're talking about, we just paid this for this card. Oh, that's cheap.
Yes.
Let's see
the performance and the features. I'm also more excited about the new features, not only the frame rate. Like what is Nvidia going to reveal?
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, guys. Perfect stream as always. Thank you very much for being there. Thank you very much for all the comments.
Thank you very much. I think it was great.
We talk next Sunday about the new price leak for the 5090 maybe. Or maybe we have more news about the G5. Let's see. Okay, well, guys, thank you very much. See you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.